Hello, this is Christine. Today I want to talk to you about meditation. It's a subject that is apparently not well liked among fibromyalgia patients, and I think it's because it is perceived to be much more difficult than it really is. It's something that absolutely anyone can do. There are many forms of meditation, and I will be showing a few of them. The benefits of meditation are many, and they are physical, they are emotional, they are mental, they are also spiritual. So it covers all of us. There is no part of us that we're not benefiting when we take the time to stop and meditate. And you can start with something very, very short. I'd suggest starting with maybe a 5-minute meditation and then work up to 15 minutes. Just go up a little bit a day until you can, you feel comfortable staying in the meditation longer. And it will come to a point where you enjoy the meditation enough that you want to stay in it. But we're not aiming for that. What we're aiming for now is enough to allow you to use meditation as a very simple tool for calming. It's a great tool to use first thing in the morning to sort of set the pace for the day. Just stop and welcome the day in and release anything that was old, and just set yourself up for a positive experience of the day coming ahead. It's also really, really helpful before going to bed to sit and meditate for a few minutes just before going to bed, because it puts you in a nice calm state so that when you're going to bed, you're already calm. You can get ready for bed first and sit in your jammies and do a meditation and then go into bed immediately after. And you will find that it is easier to fall asleep and that you will go to sleep more soundly. So those are the benefits, and it's good for reducing pain because it releases our stress, it releases our tension, and so that relaxation, that release, is good for everything that happens in fibromyalgia, because it's all very, very impacted by stresses. So anything we can do to release our stress is very, very helpful. So a couple ways that you can do this that we'll talk about today. One is extraordinarily simple. You sit. I've got an area in my living room that I use just for meditation, and it's an armchair that I'm sitting in now. It's quite straight. It's not a comfy, cozy armchair. It's an antique armchair that is rather upright, and so I've designated it for this purpose. So this is my quiet little corner, and I've got some incense burning next to me. I have some very soft music playing in the background, but that's not necessary. I can do this when there's boats going by in the harbor, a train going past. It doesn't matter, but it's ideal if you can set up a bit of an atmosphere that also feels meditative. So when I come to this corner, my body, my brain, we all know what we're going to do. And probably before too long, my dog will come, because he's usually attracted when I'm meditating, and he wants to come up and sit on my lap and be with me while I'm doing it. So if you see a dog appear on me, that's why that's happening. So the simplest one. So if you can join me, just sit up wherever you are, and all you want to do is have your body so that I'm just adjusting my cushion here, so that it's very upright. Okay, you're not slumping, you're sitting quite upright. Move your shoulders around, kind of circle your shoulders, get some kinks out, roll your head in both directions, get some kinks out of that. Stretch your hands and fingers. Okay, and now that you're sitting upright, you want to sit with your shoulders down and back. Okay, not in a forced position, but in a relaxed position. Not the anxious position that we usually end up in, but down and back. And let your hands fall. If there are arms on your chair, you can rest them on the side of the chair. If not, rest your hands on the top of your thighs. Keep your feet flat on the floor. Okay, so we're grounded. We have our feet flat on the floor, and our butt is firmly on the seat, back in our seat. And the other thing that you can do is sit in a cross-legged position. But I'm thinking that since we're dealing with a very broad group of people, that there may be a lot of people who are sore enough that they just want to sit on a chair, and that's perfectly fine. So just sit on a chair or sit cross-legged. Okay. Another very common practice in meditating is to do a mudra, and a mudra is a simple hand position, and the most common one is to just join your index finger and your thumb and keep your other 3 fingers loose. Okay, so if you are comfortable doing this, this is just a very general calming mudra, and it gives you the signal that what you are going to do now is meditate. We're not doing chores, we're not thinking about a project, we're not doing anything except meditating. So this is our signal to ourselves. Okay, now the easiest way to meditate is to just follow your breath. And all you do is follow your breath in, breathe in, hold your breath, and breathe out. It's pretty common, pretty simple. It's also something that you can do any time of the day just to calm yourself. Breathe in for 5, count of 5, hold for a count of 5, breathe out for a count of 5. And if you do that, it will calm you. Now, we're going to do a longer practice of it, so we'll do it with whatever kind of a count works best for you. I'd suggest that you start with a 4 and just count in, and obviously this is counting in your head, not counting out loud, because you can't do that and hold your breath. But, okay, so here we are, sitting, mudra position. Hands down, shoulders down, back. Okay, and we're nice and straight, we're upright, we're connected to the earth. Okay, and you breathe in for a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And keeping your lungs fully, you're trying to fill your lungs. Okay. And then hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale. Okay, so obviously I can't do this and count to continue the meditation, but I will. What I will do is do the counting, and you do the practice. So breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale through your nose, making a sound. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slight pause and repeat. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale through your nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. This time I'm going to join you and not count out loud. You've got this, it's not rocket science. If you find the count to 4 too slow to be comfortable for you, you can make it shorter. You just want to breathe in slowly and deeply, and you want to try to regulate that each part of your breath is about the same length. So you're inhaling for one length, holding for the same length, and releasing. Not sure if I mentioned, but we're breathing in through our nose and exhaling through our mouth. In through the nose. Hold. Out through the mouth. Now, as you do this technique, here comes the dog. As you do this technique, you're going to get very relaxed, but thoughts are going to still pop into your head. So if something comes into your head, don't follow the thought. Just kind of look at it, label it a thought. You can take note of what kind of a thought it is. We have maybe 50 to 70,000 thoughts a day, so that's a lot of thoughts popping in and out, and we haven't trained ourselves how to slow that down during meditation, so there will be thoughts popping up during meditation. That is not a problem. That doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It doesn't mean that you're doing this wrong. It means that your brain is working perfectly normally and thoughts are coming up just like they always do. And until you get yourself calmed and trained to relax and go deeper than your thoughts, they will keep coming up. So the way to handle them is simply to say, oh, that's a thought, that's interesting. See what it is that makes it interesting, and then just ignore it, just let it go, and go back to focusing on your breath. So it's not that the thoughts are an interruption. What we're doing as part of meditation is getting to know our minds a little more, and so we get to see what these thoughts are that keep coming up when we don't mean to be thinking. I mean, you're not trying to think any thoughts. They just come. So just observe them and know that it's perfectly normal. All we're trying to do is just get into the gap in between the thoughts. And that gap between the thoughts is very restful. Just like the gap between the breaths is very restful when you're holding in all of the air before you release it out. And you know, we haven't been doing this very long, and I did mention that Pono really, really loves it when I do this, and he needs to come and sit with me. And you know, he came from across the room to come over after just a very few minutes of doing this. So it is calming, it does work. He could sense my calm from across the room and wanted to be part of it. So this will work for you, even if, or even when, thoughts come up. And what will happen over time is that you will start to see what the thoughts are that come up. And when we go to look at things like beliefs or limiting thoughts, we will you'll know what some of them are because you will have taken the time to label them. You know, thoughts, and you know, stick them into a different category and just let them go. You know, thoughts, you know, money, thoughts, love, thoughts, sex, thoughts, you know, just let them go. And yeah, and you'll get an idea of what the things are that are coming up when you're agitated, or coming up when you're calm, coming up when you're sad. Because what the practice is meant to be is to sit regularly and meditate. Twice a day is recommended, in the morning and in the evening. I like before bed because it's so calming, but it can be after dinner, whenever. It can be whenever you want, or if you're not ready to commit to 2 a day, you can do 1, but you can do 2 for 5 minutes and benefit from reaching some kind of a calm state twice a day. That's good for you, and it's really good for you if you happen to be very anxious all the time, because it will help with your anxiety as long as you can relax going into the practice, as long as you don't expect too much of yourself. All you want to do is breathe, calm. You're just focusing on being. We're not focusing on doing something. The one thing that we can't stop doing is breathing. And so when we do this meditation that's focused on breath, what we're in fact doing is nothing except breathing. We're controlling our breathing a little bit because I'm trying to slow you down and to get you into a more calm state. But we're just breathing. We're just breathing at a calmer, slower rate. So we're settling down, and we're just achieving some sense of calm. Don't worry about the thoughts. The thoughts will come. People have told me when I've tried to teach people to meditate that they can't because thoughts keep interrupting them. Well, that's the point. Thoughts will keep interrupting you. If you're having 50 to 70,000 thoughts a day, they're coming all the time, and this isn't going to completely stop this. What will happen eventually is that you might notice it as much. And so there will still be thoughts. You just will be paying attention to a different part of you, and so you won't be aware of the thoughts. The thoughts won't be bothering you. You won't, as soon as you think about money, you won't be thinking that you have a bill to pay or that you have, something that you need to take care of. By just labeling the thought and letting it go, the thought's still there, but you're just saying, not right now. Right now, this time's for me. This time is for me to be calm. And so that's lesson 1 in meditation, and we have achieved calm, or Pono wouldn't be asleep on my shoulder. So other ways that you can do this, you can also transcendental meditation. If you're a boomer, you'll remember that the Beatles went and studied with the Maharishi Mahesh Yogi and learned transcendental meditation. So way back in the 70s, I learned transcendental meditation, and I was given I can't remember the name of the word. Anyway, it's just a word that you use to think. It's a mantra. Okay, so I have a mantra, and I just think this word, and it's a word in Hindu, and it has no meaning to me. It's just a sound. So I just repeat this sound over and over and over. And it's just a replacement for thinking about the breath. And again, let the thoughts come in and go, come in and go. And so there's many, many versions of this. You can meditate on any mantra. One that I have used that's not from any particular source. I like the words peace, love, peace, joy, laughter, and love. That's the way I do it. Peace, joy, laughter, love. Peace, joy, laughter, love. And I just think those words and use that as a mantra. You can use Om as a mantra. That's sort of universally used. And so those are substitutes that you can use for the breath. They all do exactly the same things. It just gives you something to focus on that it's just an object of focus, okay? Because what we're trying to do is have you and one object of focus, not you and a million objects of focus, which is what all of the thoughts are, all of the things we worry about. And often during the day, we will allow ourselves to become anxious and worried. And when we're doing that, we're going in too many directions at once, and it's chaos. And that is anything but calm and centered. So by focusing on any one thing and just sitting with it, not doing anything with it, just focusing on one gentle thing, just breathing and saying a word, and silently, of course. Just repeat the Om silently in your head, whatever word you like, silently in your head. Repeat it. Be calm with it. And as every thought arises, label it a thought and let it go. Label it a thought and let it go. Move on. And while this might seem awkward when you first start it, it will quickly become something that's very easy to do. And I wish I could say that you would in no time be as calm as Pono, who is just, crashed out. But it's great for putting you to sleep. And I have a demonstration in my arms. But anyway, that's it for now. And we'll talk again soon. If you have any questions, please leave them in the post. And any comments I will certainly reply to. Meditate for a few times and ask any questions, and I'll get back to you. Okay, we'll get through this time with the pandemic, and we'll use it to our advantage. Okay, thanks. See you later. Bye-bye.